What's going on?
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to those two dads. If I could even say it, what the heck, man? It's 9 o'clock.
It's the day, man. Today's been
Yeah.
a crazy day for you.
Yeah.
Crazy good day.
Heck yeah, those two dads podcast. You're grooming yourself in the background with your fingers.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Dude, this is episode 36. So
Yeah.
episode 36. And I'm just going to kind of jump into this so we can start talking to Eileen. So we're going to talk about why branding yourself online is important with Eileen Saltzgiver. And so we have the privilege, guys, and I don't know if I'm ashamed to say that it's taken this long, which I think I am. But, you know, it's just kind of been one of those things. But we have the privilege of having our first mom on the show.
Woo!
I'm super stoked about it. Moms are so super important. So
Yes.
With that being said, Eileen is a mom of 4, wife, and mental health advocate. She also is a personal branding and digital marketing coach, where she's building a community of online entrepreneurs that look to her for inspiration, motivation, and application. A lot of those shuns of online marketing strategies. So Eileen is now branched out into creating her own course, where she's taking people on personal branding journey to help them build that know, like, and trust factor in this massive online ocean. So before we jump in, as always, we're your hosts. That's Josh. I'm Kyle. We're stoked to bring you guys another episode of Those Two Dads. Before we get going, the obligatory, if you get value from the show, please like it, please share it, please comment on it, engage all the things. Obviously, you can see us on YouTube, which go like and subscribe there, and we do the audio versions on wherever you can find your podcast.
Spotify,
right?
Apple, Google, all those places.
All those places. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, rate it, whatever you got to do. Just help us grow the thing. So, but that being said, we do love helping people and sharing with others, and definitely appreciate all the support and getting the word out and growing this podcast channel. So we definitely appreciate that. So without further ado, let's bring in Eileen.
Ooh, here she is, Eileen.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for
I'm
being
your
with
first
us.
mom.
First mom on the show. Yes.
I'm so honored. That's awesome.
The honor is ours,
because we're honoring you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I get to talk about all the shuns tonight. I love that, Kyle.
All the shuns, yep. almost sounds like it should be from like a samurai movie, right? You're gonna talk about all the shuns of the valley. They come together for your personal branding journey.
There you go. I mean, I think Kung Fu Panda's on out there too, so it's kind of,
that's perfect.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's great, right?
It is great.
Oh, we got Sybil on here with us already. Woo!
Hey, hi Sybil. You're awesome, girl.
So, tell us, Eileen, who are you? Who is Eileen?
Who is Eileen? Oh, that's a loaded question, Josh. Do we even have time? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Well, you know what? Like everybody else, I wear lots of hats in my life. And most importantly, you know, I'm me, and I just want to make a difference in the world. That's really who I am in a nutshell. And, you know, I'm a wife. I'm a mama to 4. I have tons of fur babies and a dragon in this house.
Okay,
hold on. We got to stop there. Tons of fur babies. Now, I know a little bit, but you've got to tell the world how many fur babies you actually have.
So we have 4 rescue pups, 2 of which we brought home when we went on vacation to Missouri. I tell everybody, most people bring home souvenirs. We bring home dogs, apparently, when we go on vacation. So we brought 2 home from a shelter down there. And then we got 2 more almost a year ago. And then we got 1 kitten about, let me think, in June. And we just got another kitten last week. He's
So
like
you
this
have
big. He's 3 pounds. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
that's awesome.
And then we have my daughter's bearded dragon.
Which I guess is
So
kind of a furry looking thing, but not really furry.
I mean,
One of these
Spidey,
things is not like the other. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
right. That's right. However, I will tell you, surprisingly, that our first cat, his name is Chip Chip, and he loves Mushu the dragon. They are seriously best friends. I don't understand it. It's the weirdest thing, but when Chip goes into my daughter's room, he goes up on the tank, he looks down in. When we feed Mushu, he stands there and like looks over the container. And we have a cricket box because you have to feed dragons live crickets, which I'm still not used to. But Chip will curl up next to the crickets and take a nap. I don't know. They just have some kind of sense about them. But it's a really cool little relationship to watch, because you wouldn't think of them as being common friends, but they like each other.
Hey, whatever works,
Hey, it's all about connection, right?
True story.
Yeah. So those are my fur babies. And yeah, it's an interesting life, for sure. With so I have 4 kids and my hubby of 23 years. So, we just rock and roll every day, divide and conquer, try to get everyone to where they need to go. And I still work my 9 to 5. I love my profession. I'm a behavior analyst, so I work a lot with individuals with intellectual disabilities. So that's what I do full time. And I've done that, oh gosh, well, since 98 full time. So, I'm old. I'm actually getting old, believe it or not. Like, I'm not old, but like I'm starting to see little things where I'm like, wow, I'm not so young anymore. But I still don't feel like an adult. Does anybody else feel like that? Like, I don't know how you can have 4 kids and all those responsibilities and still don't feel like you're grown up yet. I don't know. It's very strange.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, and what's really funny about that too is I was actually just talking about that today with my wife, Katie, because I threw out my back at some point and I don't know what I did the other day. And so today I actually had to go get adjusted and then nursed my back all day. Cause I'm surprised I'm even sitting in this chair right now, to be honest.
I was at the chiropractor today too, buddy.
Yeah. And like, I was telling Katie, I was like, we're not in our teens anymore, like physically, but mentally and emotionally, and even in our hearts, it's like I still feel like it was just yesterday that I was on a BMX bike going over ramps and whatever,
right?
Like I don't feel like it's been that long, but yeah, I'm with you. Like I still get giddy when I do things that excite me, like, when I play games with my kids, or like we played, my dad brought over Ghostbusters Monopoly before the Super Bowl. And it was
sounds fun.
It was so fun. And I felt like a little kid, at the kitchen table, play a Monopoly, be like, no, you cannot make that trade with me. I will not do that with you. But like it's you have to have those youthful moments to keep you alive,
Oh yeah, you sure do. I mean, I still chase my kids around the house. I chase the animals around the house. Like it just, we get crazy here, but
Kyle chases Heather around the house,
Chase Heather around the house, that's for sure. I played a coaches versus kids hockey game on Sunday. It was 3 coaches versus 8 8-year-olds and full ice, right? I mean, exhausting, but it was a blast.
I bet.
Checking these little 8-year-olds out of the way. I mean, we weren't going to lose.
You're not supposed to check when they're 8.
Listen.
They can't even check in middle school. They get penalties for that, Kyle.
It's fine, Eileen. They were fine. All right. One of them took me out from behind. They took me out from behind. I was the one who got hurt. Okay. It's fine.
I bet you took a really long nap when you get home.
I'm sure he did.
I'm still sore.
Yeah.
So talking about feeling like a kid and also being old at the same time, that I think that sums it up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So
Yeah.
you got, you've got a long career that you've been in for a while, married for 23 years, which, that is awesome in itself. That's a story we don't usually hear a lot in this day and age, is longevity in marriages, unfortunately. But so one of the things that I was really, interested in when we first met was, we had talked a little bit about just kind of why you got started as an entrepreneur and why you kind of dug into that world. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what sparked you to want to start building an income outside of your job?
Sure. When I got introduced to online marketing, well, I shouldn't even say online, network marketing, I just kind of fell into it. And, it really was because, I was starting to feel old and I was drained and tired all the time. And I'm like, this just, life has to be better than this. This just isn't how it should be. And, my kids were younger back then. And, I wasn't as used to like all the crazy running around and still working full time. And, a friend of mine was like, hey, I'm trying this stuff. I'm using this. And I feel really good. Like I have energy. I'm able to get up and go in the morning. I don't feel like I'm dragging every day. And she said, let me know if you want to give it a try. And I had some trust in her. We knew each other. And so I thought, well, okay, what do I have to lose? Right.
Right.
So I went ahead and tried and I really liked it. It made me feel good, loved it, but I felt guilty because I'm like, well, it's not fair for me to feel like this and not my husband. That's wrong. Right.
Right.
So, but it was pricey. It was like $250 a month. Ooh. For this stuff. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm not spending $500 a month for something like this. And so then it began. Oh, well, if you sign up 3 people, you can get yours for free.
3 and free.
3 and free. So that is kind of my introduction to network marketing. I started going to the meetings, I started to learn about all that traditional stuff. And I hated it. I felt so out of place. I'm not a salesy person. I don't like that kind of stuff. And it just felt very odd and foreign to me. So I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I feel bad and it sucks because I have to not take this stuff anymore, but it's not worth it to me. And I did. I just walked away from it because I didn't enjoy it. And then, that was just more of like a personal thing. I just wanted to give it a try.
Right.
And then we had a situation a few years ago. It's actually 3 years this month, believe it or not. Wow. Yep. And my husband was working Lyft on the side. He's a teacher and it's just hard. It's really, really difficult to provide for a family of 6 and help them get through all of their activities and all of the costs, the normal mortgage, cars, all those sorts of things.
Right.
And make ends meet. And so he was working a second job with Lyft, and he had worked a really long day. And he came home that night and basically said, I feel like my feet are falling asleep. Like I just, they're really tired and it just feels weird. He said, but you know what? I'm sure I'm just tired. I'm going to go to bed and everything will be fine tomorrow. And we didn't really think anything of it. It was late. It was like 2:00 in the morning when he came home. And then he woke up the next day and he didn't feel any better. And I thought, well, maybe he pinched a nerve. When you drive for so long, you compress things. And that's really what I kind of thought that it was. And I scheduled him to go see my chiropractor. And he went for 3 adjustments. And it had started to move up his legs. So instead of his feet just being numb, it started to move higher. And by the time he got to the 3rd adjustment, he wasn't getting any relief. Nothing had changed. and he was numb from the waist down at that point. He still had function. He was still able to walk. He was still able to drive, but he couldn't feel anything.
Sure.
And like if I scratched his leg, excuse me, he could tell I was doing something, but didn't know what.
Sure.
So I told him that he needed to go to the emergency room, because even though the chiropractor had put in the paperwork for him to get an MRI, the insurance company needed more information.
Sure.
And I said, nobody needs more information other than the fact that you're numb from the waist down. Please go to the emergency room after work.
Right.
So that's what he did. And he was in the hospital for a week, and they ran 40 tests. And there was just a lot of, well, it might be this and it might be that and so forth. And we actually left the hospital without a diagnosis.
Wow.
Because they weren't 100% sure what it was. And it wasn't until we met with the neurologist and they got the results back from his spinal tap that they had done, because they were looking at the protein inside of it, and they discovered that he did indeed have MS. So that was a really big shock to our family. He was 44 at the time, and that is not typically diagnosed in your 40s. It's typically diagnosed in your 20s, maybe your 30s. But it's very rare for it to be diagnosed that late. And, it was really a terrifying experience. We had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had no idea what this was going to mean. We didn't know if it was going to get worse and how quickly. So there's a lot going through our heads at that point in time.
Sure.
And I didn't know. All I knew is that everything that we knew was gone. That's just what I knew. That was the reality, that life as we knew it was no longer there.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had a couple of choices to make at that point. And it was, we can be sad about it, and we can be depressed and be angry and say, oh my gosh, why me? And all those things that kind of run through your head when you're upset, scared, and have all those emotions. Or you could look at it as, you know what? We just got to keep moving on, and we got to make the best out of this situation and get used to a new normal. And that's pretty much what we did. We just kept marching on. But in the back of my head, I thought to myself, well, what happens if someday he gets up and he can't walk? Or, he isn't able to make it through a whole day of school, or those things start going through your mind when the doctors start telling you, well, this could happen and that could happen, and look out for this, and we'll try this medication. But, the fact of the matter is that he had brain lesions, and he had lesions on his spine. And they told us that there was no way that was his first episode.
Got it.
That still astounds us to this day, because we have no idea how he would have had any other signs of it before then that we missed. So that's when I decided, you know what, maybe I kind of stopped doing this network marketing thing too quickly, because that could be a way for me to really open up an opportunity, if need be, to retire my husband if I have to. And still provide for my family, because I knew on my income alone, it was going to be really challenging to do, because, we still just have so many bills and things like that. We're not anywhere near retirement age.
Yeah, you got a lot of life to live still.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
With 4 kids and grandkids in the future, and all your fur babies and your dragon and all those. That's, thinking about that, it was probably like, I'm not supposed to be thinking about this kind of stuff yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's a great point, Kyle. It really was, because, even in our own home, we live in a 2-story house, and we've been here. We moved in 22 years ago into this home, and it was supposed to be a 5 to 7 year plan. And well, it didn't quite work out that way because, we kept adding to our family, and it just made sense to just kind of stay put and where we were. And I thought to myself, this cannot be our forever home. We cannot live in a house that has stairs in the future. Things like that I started to think about. And
For sure.
So I decided that I was going to go back out there and see if I could make a real go of it and kind of take it more seriously, and see what it could do to build us some more income. And that's what I did. I entered into another company, and I worked really hard to, get team members and to, get a customer base. And overall, I really was starting to make some movement for myself. And it was a really great experience because of that. I loved the people that came to work with me and chose to work with me. But I didn't find a lot of support from the people above me that was supposed to be training and providing me information and really helping to support that journey. I wasn't moving fast enough. And that got me really frustrated because I knew what goals I had and I wasn't able to get there. So,
Yep.
I basically kind of started on that, crazy search for, my home per se of where can I go? Where will I feel at home? Where will I feel like I can get the support that I need? And that's when I started to really start to invest in myself, actually, because I wasn't learning it from other people. And I knew I couldn't teach it all to myself. So I started to invest in programs to teach me a lot about marketing and teach me a lot about branding myself. And that's actually when I met Josh. We met online.
Yep.
And, from the minute that we kind of connected online and through a program that we were both doing and connecting through Messenger, we really became great friends whenever we did that. And, that just started to open up a whole new world for me because I really started to learn so much about online marketing and moving away from the traditional way to do things. And not to say those things don't work. They do, but they worked better 20, 30, 40 years ago. Today, they tend to push more people away than to actually work for you. So I just kept pushing along, kept doing more training, kept doing more programs. And, I finally just decided, hey, well, I know this stuff now. And so I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to start teaching people what I know, because I don't want them to go through what I did, because I made every mistake in the book.
Eileen, what kind of time frame was that? Like, how long did that journey from husband diagnosis to kind of meeting Josh? Did that?
Oh gosh. Let me think. I think it was about a year. I think it was about a year after Brad was diagnosed to when you and I met Josh, if I'm remembering correctly, because you and I have known each other about 2 years now.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it was like March, April of 2020, somewhere around there that we started to meet up and stuff. And then, because that's when we got in that one big company, well, the online affiliate company, and then worked together. But yeah, it's about the right timeline. It was about the same time frame, Kyle, that you and I kind of started to see each other. That was our
you would have just got out of
one funnel away challenge. Yep.
Yeah. OFA. If I could, dude, words are hard tonight.
I don't blame you.
What's up, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
So so what that'd be a year after that we met, and then probably about 4 or 5 months after that we started to work together more closely. And then I would say, so what, your online marketing journey probably started like really heavily, really about a year ago, I think. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think that's really where I would say that I really started to apply everything that I had been learning and really started to, move forward with everything and put it into action, and really started to get serious about getting coaching myself and
I think
learning.
a lot of people are going to really relate to that, because I think most folks will have this kind of event that happens for them, like this moment, right, where they're like, well, I need to just try to figure some ways out to make some additional income, right? And then they'll go through this journey of exploration of what's out there, and then find something that they feel comfortable with, and then start moving in that direction, and then find out that they need to know more information. How can I get this thing, right? And then so I think when people look back, like you're kind of telling your story now, looking back, and you're like, oh wow, that's like 3 years worth of time. Somebody who's just starting today is like, wow, 3 years to kind of invest in myself. That seems like a little too crazy for me to start to find some results. But that's the journey, because you don't come out of the womb running, right? Like you have to learn things one step at a time to get.
That'd be really interesting to see.
I'm
sorry,
right?
but I totally got that vision in my head.
I just thought about it, like, we don't come out of the room riding bikes. Could you imagine just like some baby riding a bike out of the just
zooming out of there?
Running. I was thinking of its little legs going.
Oh man,
I'm so sorry.
But that's just a great visual.
I love it.
Kyle's trying to be all serious. I'm so sorry.
How dare you steal my thunder?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Wanda. Like, I mean, she says embrace the journey, and that's ultimately where folks come to have that realization. It's a journey. It's one of those things, like, you never stop learning, and in this online at-home business space, you never stop learning. There's new innovative ways to get your end result, and you always got to be split testing and adding more knowledge to your repertoire, right? And then all that starts to compound, and then you can see your results getting better and better. And it's that iceberg effect, right, where it's finally peaking above the water, but people from the outside don't see all this work that went into it. So, like, I think people will resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Josh can attest for those moments of just excitement. The excitement when you were learning something new and were putting it to action, and maybe getting some little results and feeling like you were on the right track and kind of finally had some vision. And in the same breath, when you felt excited, feeling like a boulder just came down and hit you in the flipping head and wiped out everything that you were trying to do, and then you just wanted to like run and cry, and that nothing's ever going to work, and that you were going to be doing this for another 20 years because you just couldn't get ahead. And we had a lot of heart-to-heart conversations during that time. And honestly, unless you have people to lock arms with, unless you have people that encourage you and support you, it's a really difficult journey. I can't imagine going it alone. I can't, without my family, without people like Josh, to help me along. I would not be where I am today. Absolutely not.
Well, that's really sweet. I do appreciate that. And also, I was going to say, like, Kyle, we've never had any of those heart-to-heart conversations, have we?
Not one time. No.
I
don't even know what to say. Like, how are you doing all that with everybody else, man? I feel like, are you cheating on me?
Yeah. Hey now.
I met him first.
That is technically true, but no.
It is true. It is true.
but no,
No, we've had plenty of heart to hearts. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah.
important to be able to find somebody that is familiar enough with you, familiar enough with your journey, and to be able to be like another ear. Just sometimes you just need somebody to listen. The listen and advice. Sometimes you need to hear other people's stories and understand you're not like your story. Like, you know, you may feel crummy now, but like you're not the only one dealing with something. You know, like there's all these things that just having other people, having other mentors around or other peers that are kind of going through the same journey is so helpful. Having that team to be able to pick you up when you need to be picked up, and then you can turn around and reciprocate the favor when it's time for you to do that. You know, that's
Well,
it's amazingly
absolutely.
valuable.
And that's a huge part of what I want to be doing to give back, because when I think about all the challenges that I've gone through to get to where I am today, I don't want people to have to walk that path. I don't want people to have to do tons and tons of courses and spend thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars to invest necessarily in themselves just to get a little bit ahead. I want them to be able to learn more quickly and really shorten that curve. And that's really why I decided to move into coaching, because it's my way of giving back to help their journey be more enjoyable, not be as stressful, make progress a lot quicker, and not have to feel like they're alone and that they're trying to do it themselves. So it's been really rewarding, since I've moved into doing coaching, because I watch people implement things that I suggest, and I see them getting these little wins that took me years to get. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. And that's what I had, and that's what I still have from my coaches and my mentors. So it's pretty cool to be in that position now.
Yes. Speaking of getting into the coaching, so one of the things that, we do know is that you decided to land in kind of like the personal branding niche. And while there are a lot of people out there that, think they know about personal branding, one thing I know for sure is that you do know about personal branding, and not just from, what you've learned online, but even just your professional career too, being able to brand yourself as the expert in your field and be able to do that. So why, even though that's a passion and that's something that you're experienced with, knowing that that's a highly competitive area, because personal branding, personal development, like that's a lot of people want to go that route because it's easy, right? They think it's easy, but why did you pick that? Like, what was the significance that made you realize that was your thing?
It's a great question. It really is. I think for me, I did everything wrong. And when I entered network marketing, and, I learned to brand the company that I was representing and not who I was. And it always made me feel cringy and icky and not comfortable. And I didn't like what I was doing. It didn't make me feel good. I didn't enjoy reaching out to other people. I didn't enjoy talking to them about what it was that I did, because I was embarrassed, the way that, I was implementing these different strategies. And so
does it make for a recipe for success when you feel that way, huh?
Exactly. Well, exactly. Because if anything, I almost felt like I was holding myself back, because I didn't want to talk to a whole lot of people, because I knew what that meant. I knew what I would have to do in order to talk to other people.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until I started to really learn about attraction marketing and really learning principles of what we could be doing to build that know, like, and trust. So, people look to us to learn, they find value, that I learned about personal branding at that point in time. That's really how you can build your business, is to brand you. It doesn't matter what company that you represent. It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing to make income. That's not the first thing that you talk to about people. The first impression that people get of you is who you are. And I fell in love with that concept because I like being me. I don't want to be anybody else. I want to be the married mom of 4, kids with the crazy creatures that live in my house that just broke my door down to get in here. So we'll see which one it is. It's Maui. So,
Maui.
Yeah. Hi, Mal. Yeah. And so the thought of being able to talk to other people about what it is that I do by being me just felt so natural and so right. And when I started to learn the principles of how to do it and started to implement the strategies, it felt good. I wasn't embarrassed. I enjoy talking to other people. And I really loved that people got to know me for me. People could relate to me based on their own lives. And I attracted people to me that could relate to me. And if people don't relate to me, that's okay. You're not going to jive with everybody. And that's totally all right. And, having a personal brand just means that I can continue to build my business in different ways and not be stuck or attached to any one thing. As you go through your journey of building a business, your brand grows with you.
Yep.
My brand today won't be my brand 5 years from now. It won't be my brand 10 years from now. I still will be that married mom of, so many kids and animals and all that other kind of stuff, but I'll be in a different place. I'll have different things to talk about. I'll have different projects that I'm working on. And that's the beauty of having a personal brand, is you're not stuck in this container saying, this is what I do and this is what I offer, and that's all. It's this whole, beautiful, thing that you are. And I see it done so wrong on social media, and I used to be there, and I want to stop it. I really do. I want to stop it. And I've had so much fun. I've had so much fun learning about branding and teaching people how to be themselves and not feeling like they have to be somebody else just to build an income or to build their business. Just to be them.
And that's awesome too, because when you think about that, right, you're just taking your experiences, you're realizing that, you have a lot of experience, negative experience, that actually can give you a positive result by teaching people what you did wrong and how you overcame that and how you were able to push through that. And so I think what's really cool about what you just said, right, is you said that, a little bit ago, you said it's an amazing feeling that when you tell somebody something and you give them a strategy and you give them something to do and they go do it, and you just kind of have that, like, yes, you're like, they did it and it worked and it did exactly what they were hoping for. And so because of that, and actually not because of it, but as part of that, you haven't just gone through and said that you're just going to help people with branding. Like, you've actually expanded that into an entire community and even a course now. And I think what's really cool, and we'll put this up on the screen here for those of you that are watching or watching this on the replay. And for those of you that are listening, the Facebook group that she has is called Freedom for Life. There's more to it, but Freedom for Life is the main title of the group. And this is a group that I am a part of personally, and I see the work that you're doing in there, Eileen, and things like, like right now you've got a whole series of things that you're doing, like little mini master classes on, and you're live in there all the time, and you've got all these posts of different things that you're talking about, personal branding and know, like, and trust, and really different strategies to be able to show yourself out in social media and the online world. And what has that been like, being able to go from what you just talked about before, where you felt like you weren't getting anywhere, you felt like you weren't on the right path, you felt like you were spinning your wheels, to now being able to take other people through the beginning or even middle of their journey and help them become better?
Honestly, it feels like a blessing. It's such an honor to start my own community and to bring people in where I was, people that are just building a business, they're just starting, they're just learning, or they're so many months in, or they might even be a little bit further along in their journey, and they're spinning their wheels. They're struggling. They don't know how to go about things, or the strategies that they're being taught. They're not helping them get wins, and they're not helping them get results. And the only thing that will do is cause frustration, and will cause so many of these awesome people who want a different life for their families and for themselves to walk away and to potentially give up. And I don't want that for anybody. I want them to have the life that they want, regardless of what that looks like. Because the truth of the matter is that whether people are in it to build an extra income, whatever their reason is, it's to create a different life. And it doesn't matter how much money people have. Money, the only thing that money is that it creates choices. It creates opportunities. That's all that it is. It doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. It doesn't matter how much your commission check is, any given month. What matters is the choices that it provides to you, to your family, that you're able to make. And that's what starts to create a different life and helps you make different choices for yourselves than you weren't able to make a couple months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And it's just such an honor. It's such an honor to be able to go in and host these events and have people, come and listen to what I have to say, go and implement it and get a win and feel good about what they're doing and be motivated and continue to do that because they see that it works.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully will continue and get that life that they want and then pay it forward to somebody else. That's my hope.
That's the ticket right there, right? The pay it forward to somebody else. I think so many people forget that when they're, first starting out, as they think, and we all did that, right? We all started a business opportunity or an idea or some sort of entrepreneurial thing for the hope of being able to add additional income to our lives, to get us more choices and be able to create those abilities, those memories, and be able to do things that we didn't be able to do before, that we couldn't do before. But then it transforms, right? Like almost every person we've had on here, every person I've talked to, there's a transformation period where they go from caring about making sales and being, the best marketer they could be, to then just helping people. And a book that I really do believe that makes a big difference in a lot of people's lives is a book called The Go-Giver, where it talks about, giving more than you take. Albert Einstein even says, you should not strive to be of success, but strive to be of value, that, he who strives for success will never find the amount of money that satisfies them, but he who strives for value will never have to worry about money a day in his life. And that's the kind of stuff that I think that is really powerful, that a lot of people maybe gloss over right away, as they think like, oh, well, I just need to make enough money so that way I can focus on that. It's like, no, we gotta flip that around, right? You got to focus on the giving so that you can get the things that you're looking for, because the law of reciprocity is real.
It is.
Like, it's not a law out there for no reason. It exists because the more you give, the more that you're going to see that in return. And it's not that we give because there's expectation, right? We give because we want to. And I think that's a really powerful statement. I'm glad that you shared that, because so many people miss that. And that's really, really amazing. So
it's very humbling, when you help somebody else and, they say, thank you so much. And, oh my goodness, like, I appreciate you. And thank you. It's so humbling. It's just, it means so much, and it makes the work that you do, and it makes the time that you spend just so worth it. And, Yeah. And it just, in so many doors and opportunities continue to open. And with each one, I hope that I can change somebody's life.
That's awesome. So tell us about this new course you got coming on then. I mean, I do know a little bit about it, but like I want to hear it from you, right? I want to hear like what drove you into creating this course, and just a little tidbit about what's it about, and then like what's it mean to you, and what do you believe this is going to do for people?
Yeah, so it's called the Personal Building Brander. I can't even speak right because Maui's looking at me. It is called the Personal Branding Builder.
I do like the first thing though. Personal,
yeah.
personal
Spin it around.
building
Personal
brander.
Builder Brander.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a cereal. It's crazy, but yeah, it's really exciting to be able to put together because I've learned so much in patches. I've learned a little bit here, I've learned a little bit there, and I feel like that's how a lot of us learn. That we read something, we take it in, and maybe we do a course and we take it in, and maybe we do something else and take it in. But I wanted to develop something where everybody could come to one place and be able to start from the very beginning and understand what is a personal brand and why is it important when you're in business, and take you the whole way through that journey of building your personal brand, where it starts with why it's important. It starts with what it will do. It starts with the things that you need to put into place. And then you actually build it. You actually build it and put it together. So when you're done, you have a fully functional brand that is you. It's nobody else. It's you. It's what will help you stand out from all the other people that may be doing something similar to you, but they can't be you. And that's the amazing thing about it, is that you could have 10,000 people selling the same sort of thing, but it doesn't matter because you're doing it and nobody else can do it like you can. And that's what I love about this program, because it helps you. It helps bring out who you are and lets you be the individual that you are, and teaches you how to utilize that to connect with people to help them first and foremost. That's the foundation of it, is helping other people. And I just love that from start to finish, you're going to increase your leads by 3 times within 90 days. It's meant to be short. It's not meant to be years and years and take a ton of time. It's not something that's supposed to make you broke, so you're spending years trying to pay it off. It's just, let's get this done. Let's completely redo the way that you're promoting yourself on social media. Let's cut through the noise. Let's bring out who you truly are and how you can help people. And when you're done with the program, you have all of that in place, and then you just go and help the world. And that's what I love about it.
I really love that you're highlighting that, because everybody wants the program that's going to be the differentiator. And you're like, most of that stuff's just repackaged. It's the same stuff, but again, just nice shiny packaging or whatever. And It takes a long time for folks to understand, probably because there's imposter syndrome that's kind of in there and they feel like they don't know enough. But it takes a long time for folks to realize that they are the unique value proposition. They are the differentiator between that person, and that person selling virtually the same thing for, the same amount of money. And I see this in my day job, all the time with some of the salespeople out there. Like, dude, you guys are selling something that's kind of a commodity that you need to that you need to make sales on to make a living. What's the thing that's going to make you stand out? Well, it's you.
Yep.
It's you.
For sure.
What you can control that, right? You can't necessarily control that product. You don't make it, right? But you can control the service that you're going to get. You're going to control the experience that somebody's going to get. right? And so stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That-
because
that's so
there's
cool.
no competition when you're you.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that kind of goes along the lines of like, you can't really say the wrong thing to the right person, because when the right person that really wants to follow you comes into your world, I mean, you can, I mean, let's be real. You can say the wrong thing sometimes, but when it comes to marketing, I mean, if that person's following you for you, they're going to follow you no matter what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
Josh,
that's
your wife will
something-
tell you that you say the wrong thing probably. Like,
Oh,
a lot.
all the time. Yeah. Although when I told her to leave her job, she didn't feel like that was very wrong.
Listen, all
I
right.
don't think she argued with you too much
Look,
about
a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, Josh.
Touche. I'll take that one. But no, Eileen, I really love this. I really do. I think that, you know, it's really cool because we have known each other for a couple of years, and, you know, seeing you just kind of come out of that shell and go from this is what they're telling me to do to this is what I want to do. And I think that's the biggest difference that I've seen. And I think that other people who follow you have seen. And even, you know, I know some of the coaches that you talk about where, you know, I know they've seen it too, is like, you really came into your own. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why we definitely wanted to have you on here, is because you are making a difference. And I think the biggest thing that people need to understand is that people like you who are actually out there helping others learn more about themselves, discover themselves, find out who they truly are so they can start being their own personal brand. That's so powerful. And there's not enough people in this world doing this. And we need more people. I mean, we see it all the time. They're like, build your personal brand. And all they say is like, put up your Facebook profile, buy a domain with your name in it, and slap your offer on there. And it's like, that's not what a personal brand is. It's way more than that.
That's such a small part of it.
Such a small part. That's like the fancy jacket that you slide over the hardcover on your book. Like, that's all that is. You're just making it look shiny is all you're doing. You know, you still got the whole book to write. But yeah, so I mean, you've got a new course, you got a community you're building. You've been through thick and thin when it comes to marketing. You've done offline marketing and online marketing. I mean, you've got a lot of experience under your belt. What's next? I mean, you've got this going. What's in the mix up there of things you want to accomplish coming up?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm on the ride right now to kind of get this community up and going and get this program going. And I'm super excited about those things. But, you know, definitely in the future, you know, my hope is to really continue to, you know, provide guidance to people, provide value to people, and just continue to find new ways that I'm able to help people along their journey. I don't know exactly what all those are right now. You know, I mean, I have told you that, you know, there's a little part of me that would like to maybe write a book at some point. I've always loved to write. I've always liked to tell stories about things that I've go through.
I totally believe you can too. Like I know you've got that in you, and it's just a matter of time. I don't think it's a matter of if Eileen Saltzgiver will have her name on the cover of a book. It's going to be when Eileen Saltzgiver has her name on the cover of a book, because it's going to come.
Well, I appreciate that. I've always loved your vote of confidence for me, and it's helped me get to where I am. And, you know, just trying to find new avenues of ways to help people, you know, just what new layers, what new doors, what new things can we do to, you know, try to help people, you know, move forward and develop. And that's what the lead needs to be. You know, the lead needs to be how to help. And I truly believe that when that's your focus, things just find you, opportunities find you. So I'm excited to, you know, have something find me in the future and figure out where I'm going.
Hey, you know, that's one of the things that I love about this online world, is that once you put yourself out there, you're out there. I mean, you're going to have people that come out and just say, hey, I mean, and not to sit here. I mean, this is our show, but we're showcasing you. But like, just to give people an example, we've had people come to us that we've interviewed on this show that have literally just emailed us and said, "Hey, we'd love to be on your show." Mm-hmm. And it's not that we have done anything magical. We haven't done anything that's, out there and like done a bunch of ads or something. But what we did is we built a brand. We have our colors. People know red and blue. That's those two dads. People know when they see our logo, it's recognizable. And I know the same thing for you, Eileen, is that when people see your face online, they don't go, I think I know that person. They're like, oh, that's Eileen. And it's because you've put your name out there as that's who you are. They don't go, well, that's Eileen with such and such, or that's Eileen with whatever. They go, that's Eileen. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people will need to hear over and over again, is that personal branding is not about you letting people know what you're selling or what company you're with. It's, you want people to know you for you, because like you said, it's going to be with you forever. It's going to change. It's going to mold into whatever it needs to be. And so that's awesome. And I love your message of just helping people, because that's what we need right now, is more people that help people. And the more we can do that, the more chances we have of, being the change that we want to see in the world. And hopefully as we become that change, other people will start to be the change that they want to see. And it can just be that ripple effect.
I totally agree. And it's the best feeling in the world when you're a part of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, just as a quick reminder for everybody. So the Facebook group that you can find Eileen in is called Freedom for Life. You'll see her face right on the picture there when you go there. And just so you know, it is an amazing group. She shares lots of value. She's got ongoing events. I get tagged in all of them, and I love it, because I love seeing Eileen succeed from the sidelines. And, I think the glorious thing about it is that she's building a community of people who really want to win and who really want to build their own lifestyle. It's not just about branding, right? It's about lifestyle. And so check that out. And then also she has her new course, the Personal Branding Builder, which is that course is live now, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is awesome. So that course is available. So you can find Eileen in her group to learn more about that course, I'm sure. And Kyle, any other thoughts you have before we let Eileen get on with her day?
I really love the message about giving, right? About going out there and adding value. And I think it's really important to just kind of, I guess, put the nail in the coffin about it. Like, when you can do that, that's when the law of attraction can really kick back, and those opportunities that you were talking about that come your way, they just don't come your way just because you're sitting idle hoping for one. You're putting the effort and the karma into the universe. Like, I'm a helper, I'm adding value, and the universe in turn hears you and provides back. So that's what that does. It's that sounds a little, frou-frou-y, but it's not. It's what happens. People see the work that you do and are like, wow, I want to be a part of that. And that's where opportunity comes from. So if you can, that's my favorite part about your message, like, hands down. Put yourself out there, do the work, do the right thing, give without expectation of receiving, and that attraction marketing will come back around. So,
well, I appreciate that, and that's exactly what you guys are doing too. And who knows where the life will take us. I'm excited, 6 months from now, what kind of conversation we might have. So
yeah, who knows? I mean, that's something that we do want to do with the people that we bring on, is bring them back on later down the road and be like, all right, what's changed, right? 6 months, a year, whatever it may be, how has life become different at that point in time? And how did that journey pan out? And, but I know from the bottom of my heart that it's going to be greatness from here on out, because you've found your passion, you've found your mission. And I think that's going to help a lot of people. So, I for one am so thankful that you came on the show. You had a lot of great things to say, and I can't wait for people to be able to watch this and listen to it all over and be able to, come your way and have you help them with their personal branding journey.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you having me on tonight. And I look forward to seeing everybody's future. I'm excited.
That's going to be awesome.
Bright.
It definitely is bright. So thanks, everybody. Don't forget, if you like the episode, if you get value from what we're doing here, please make sure you like the video, follow our podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, and all the major platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube, those2dads.com. And we'll see you on the next video as we go along. Have a great day.